Alright, this is Reverend Dick, and I'm here to bring you a fantastic story about the greatness of multiculturalism here in Sweden. And what it is about a girl who was afraid that she would be forced to marry a man that she didn't want in Gothenburg. And in Sweden we have something that is called LVU, which is basically a law that gives basically the state and the social services the right to take a child or a teenager and place them in care of someone that they find appropriate. But in this case, this is just so fucking bizarre. This happened on July 31st, but I figure this is a story well worth telling anyhow. So in Gothenburg, the social service LVU'd a girl to protect her from her parents who were suspected of exposing her to repressions. But as it was difficult to find a suitable placement for her in the summer, when several of the people with the best insight into the case are on vacation and the girl herself is heavily medicated, a quick decision is made to place her with her family. Just days later, the whole family leaves the country. And I mean, for fuck's sakes, this is why this fucking liberal mindset of, not all, is just completely fucking brain dead. So the story begins in January 2017 when the 14-year-old girl goes to the school curator, which is basically a school therapist like Mr. Mackey, and tells her that she's being checked at home and beaten every week. The abuse must consist of pushes and blows with an open hand. She's not allowed to have friends and must wear a veil. She's also afraid that she will be taken to Palestine in the summer vacation to get married, and the school health services can later attest that this is a fear that she carried with her since 2013 when she was only 11 years old. The social services immediately decided to LVU the girl and take her to a sheltered accommodation where she is investigated for honor problems, basically, and the assessment is that she needs to remain in the sheltered housing. A later psychological evaluation also shows that she suffers from post-traumatic stress syndrome and has an extensive need for care. The girl could, according to everyone involved, be difficult to deal with, and from the HVB home, HVB is basically a home for the unaccompanied refugee children, where she was first placed, she's moved to a family home on her own request, but where new problems quickly arise, and within just a few days, she's moved to a SIS accommodation. I don't know what the SIS accommodations are really, but she enjoys nowhere and has she has difficulty with all kinds of rules. With the social service terminology, there's been a breakdown in investments. For the summer, no one knows what to do about her. Throughout this time, the parents have been very offensive, and initially they confronted both the school curator, who first sounded the alarms, and several social workers who testified to the father's fierce mood. Several times they want to speed up the process so that the daughter can come home. In the spring they become more compassionate, and the father states that he learns a lot about the parenting conversations that take place with the social service. He also believes that they are a modern family, and that he and his wife married in love. No one seems to respond that he himself was 24 when he married his wife, who was only 14 years old at the time. This is fucking brilliant. Just fucking bunch of stupid fucking social service working cucks just believing this fucking moron pedophile. In connection with the arrest in January, a police report was also made against the parents, and interrogations are conducted with both the 14-year-old and her parents, but in May, the preliminary investigation is closed, and there is no supporting evidence. So, decisions are made when many are on vacation. This is also something that is unique to fucking Sweden, is that we have more vacation time in basically any other country in the world. So everyone is always off. At the end of June, the social service assesses that there is no longer any risk of the 14-year-old being removed from the country, and the secrecy of the girl's whereabouts ceases, which makes her very upset when she hears about it. She asks the social secretary if she's meant to be scared all the time. At the same time, the parents are given limited access rights, which means, among other things, that the 14-year-old may call them if she wants to, but they in turn may not call her. At the end of July, the girl talks to her family on the phone, and only a few days later, she gets to meet them. Then the girl's favorite cakes are offered, the little brothers speculate, and the atmosphere is good. A family therapist who worked with the girl was present at the meeting. When they would win, and then as a family, she certainly felt very much in the center and very much appreciated, and everyone was her guardian there and then. And so maybe it's not the rest of the time. And when I have retrospectively thought of other families in a similar context, it's probably that it can be very difficult to defend themselves. This girl had nevertheless made a difference by wanting to be placed outside of the home. Then she suddenly said that she wanted to move home. In honor cases, you have to pay attention to what the teen is expressing, and it can be very difficult. She still felt cheated here, the family therapist says in an interview. Since the girl at the meeting was positive to reunite with her family, it was decided immediately that the socializing would be extended. It became a step-by-step process, where it started with the girl and the rest of the family walking together at Liseberg, which is an amusement park. And then it became a weekend gang. At this point, the person who worked most with the girl had retired, and the manager who took over was on vacation. You see, this is, all of the fucking things that goes wrong, and it's just a fucking shit show. I trusted the colleagues, of course, but discussed with my boss because I did not understand what the stress was, because she had an LVU, and it was also summer with different vacations. So I lifted the discussion afterwards because I'm responsible manager, and this kind of decision is quite a big decision. I thought we would have ice cream and nigga, what? I thought we would have ice cream in the stomach, considering it was a matter of honor. Ice in the stomach, not fucking ice cream. This is the problem with fucking Google. It was also the plan from the beginning, the manager says in an interrogation. In mid-August, just over 2 weeks after the family reunited for the first time in more than 6 months, it was decided that the 14-year-old should be placed at home. Since she's still taken care of according to LVU, she is at the social services responsibilities, and the idea was to tune out the situation in the coming time to see if the placement worked. This was decided as a chairman's decision in the district committee's individual committees, which means that a social secretary prefers the matter and the committee chair then makes the formal decision, which will later be reported to the committee's member at the next meeting. The chair of the individuals committee was Göran Moberg from the Social Democrats at this time, but the persons from the social services who were involved in the decisions are unclear. No one remembers. See, this is... We have committees for committees who then again have subcommittees, and everyone needs to be in communication with each and every other person involved for anything to work, but, it never fucking works. When News Today contact Göran Moberg, he is surprised to hear that the LVU placement in the home was a chairman's decision, but still explains the background to the decision. The girl had returned to the family a few times, and there were discussions with the parents and the girl where the official suggested to me when I was down and wrote that you should give the girl the opportunity to become LVU'd at home. After all, she became LVU'd to protect her from her own family. And so she's placed in her own family. How did the reasoning thing go? I'm sorry. I'm just fucking tired of this fucking country. We will take care of the child, and based on the discussions held throughout the spring, you try as far as possible, if you do not see that there is a danger with it, to reunite the child with his family and siblings. But afterwards, it can be stated that in this case, it was not a good decision. No shit. I mean, in Sweden, we have this fucking state-mandated model that everyone has to learn that everyone is of equal value and blah, blah, blah. And you're not allowed to discriminate. You're not allowed to, use your fucking deduction skills and your logic skills to see what is clear for even the blind to see. But, it appeared to be a good decision. Was there a way to get away from the problems of earlier homes to place her at home? No, but she had such a strong desire to move home, and then said that she did not feel that there was any danger in reuniting with the family. Also fucking bullshit. When it comes to these honor cases, the young girls are often thought by the family patriarchs and matriarchs that everyone outside of the family are wicked, that they are evil, and that you cannot listen to them, that they want to tear you and your family asunder. So, thinking that there is no danger is basically this liberal mantra of everyone's equals, where it's where it breaks to pieces and where it collides with reality and shit like this happens. So, you'll see what happens. Why watch in such a hurry? Why not wait until after the holiday? Every decision is important, but sometimes it can be wrong. I think I wrote 14 decisions that month, but this is the most neighborly assignment, right, when it comes to suspecting marriage or similar. How much time is spent on such a decision? You read the documents and talk to the clerk and the first secretary. It's maybe 15 to 30 minutes. Of course I could. I have met my dad before in the connection with the treatment. So, imagine, loads of girls have been killed in these fucking cases, and he just, 15, 30 minutes, we had a discussion. I read the documents, and she can go home. I sat all day yesterday, and I tried to get into the case. It's rather a short time with only 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes it will be wrong, you can say, concludes Göran Huber. These fucking retarded fucking idiots. Oh. The family disappears. 1 week after the girl was LVU'd in the home, the social service is notified by the girl's school, which tells her that she did not show up at the start of the semester. It soon becomes apparent that the whole family has disappeared. A schoolmate of the 14-year-old gets a call from her where she states that she is in Jordan, where her mother is related, and she does not think she will return to Sweden. I had a feeling that things would go well, but we were very fooled. Since then, I have learned through several further education that it is associated with the honor of living with a lot of lies, for example, showing pictures from a birthday party to show, look how good we are. The environment doesn't even feel it. There is a general observation about the repressions of honor, the family therapist says in an interview. A few months later, the girl ends the LVU case with the motivation that she is no longer in Sweden. The girl was heavily medicated when she agreed to meet the family, a social secretary who worked on the matter a short time before she was placed in question. Questions that she attached so much importance to the girl's own wishes, especially as they were changed in a short time. When I went away on vacation, the secretary of the place of residence was extended, as I remember it, and she did not want to meet the parents. And then when I came back after 2 weeks, she was home. I was told that was what Anna wanted, and then she had gone on her own wish. But then the SIS home sent her medicine to us. I then saw that it was heavy medication, anxiety suppressants that should not normally be given to people under 18. I remember calling SIS and asking if they had taken into account that she was so heavily medicated when she said she wanted to go home. I don't remember exactly what they answered. And we also could not give the NN medicines because then the family had already gone abroad. And it also did not feel good that she might be able to stand without medication quite suddenly, the social secretary inquires. Not the first time the girl was taken out of the country. One warning sign should have been that the whole family unexpectedly moved to Palestine once before. After the summer holidays in 2013, the children did not come to school, and it was only after that they left the country. They did not return to Sweden until 2015. Not much is known about what this time in Palestine was like, but meanwhile 2 new passports were ordered for the girl, first in 2014, and then again a year later. No explanation has been given as to why another passport was ordered, but a clear difference between them is that the girl wears a veil on the later passport photo. One possibility is that there was a thought of taking the girl to another Middle Eastern country. In December 2018, the girl is still missing, but then new information arrives to the social services, which makes the case again a police case. And later, by sheer coincidence, the father can be arrested and prosecuted. Read about this, yeah. So, you see this fucking calamity that is the Swedish process of caring for fucking Muslim girls that want to get away from the repression that they have at home. You can see the calamity of our social welfare institutions, and if you are like me, you should conclude that this is fucking bullshit and needs to be ended. This is wasted taxpayer money. This is a waste of people's time. This is a waste of life. This is a waste of resources. And if we're honest about it, she would be much better off if she was just left alone from the very beginning and not fucked about with in the way that she was. But anyhow, this has been a motherfucking Reverend Dick short fucking news story. Have a nice one.